Florida State AD has backtracked on words he's spoken many times before. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Kangaroo Black coming back once again to talk about these Florida State Seminoles. We know that Florida State has been trying to leave the ACC for the past 2 to 3 years. We know this. But just a couple of months ago, maybe 3 months ago, 4, Florida AD came out and said they never said that they wanted to leave the ACC. That's a lie. If that's the case, why were you spending millions of dollars trying to leave the ACC and join the Big Ten? Why? And the only reason I'm talking about this is because I came up on an article this morning and I learned a lot from that article. And the article is on USA Today Network. The title of it, From Burn the Ship to Bend the Knee, Florida State and Clemson stuck with the ACC like it or not. And yes, they was trying to leave the ACC at one time, talking about Clemson joining the SEC. So, hey, but like it or not, ACC fans, Florida State, Clemson, you are stuck in the ACC. Now let's get to this article. It was nearly 3 months ago that Florida State Athletic Director Mike Alford told USA Today Sports, "We never said we wanted to leave the ACC after his university spent millions and millions in legal fees to do just that." Why would you come out and make yourself look like an idiot when it's common knowledge that you was trying to leave the ACC? I'm telling you, Florida State is becoming the laughing stock of college football. Going back to 2023, when they was talking about suing any and everybody because they didn't get in the playoffs. Yeah, they had an undefeated season. They won the conference. And if it was up to me, they would have been in the playoff. All right, because they earned that. But the people who mattered said, hey, you're not going to the playoff because of this or because of that. Then they talking about suing any and everybody. And then they went and got the doors blown off them in the bowl game by the Georgia Bulldogs. Okay, granted, damn near every damn Florida State starter sat out, which that's crazy to me. They was whining and crying, so they say they didn't want to play. All right, and they got the doors blown off them. And then 2024, they go 2-10. Laughing stock. And now, 3 months ago, the AD say the AD said they never said that they wanted to leave the ACC, when every college football fan know that's a lie. But anyway, yeah. But oh well. It was last summer when multiple people from the Big Ten told USA Today Sports that the league never had direct or indirect talks with Florida State and wasn't interested in adding the Seminoles, which the league deemed a bad partner that was trying to break up the ACC in search of greener pastures. So you trying to leave the ACC, spending all this money to join the Big Ten when you never had any talks or negotiations with the Big Ten. How dumb is that? That's just crazy. That is crazy. You spending all this money with no place to go because you ain't talked to nobody. And where you was trying to go, they didn't even want you. You just didn't know they didn't want you because, hey, you never talked to them. That's just crazy. But anyway, Florida State's grand plan was to get out the ACC and then become an attractive candidate for the Big Ten. Remember, the Big Ten didn't want them. Saw them as a problem child. Florida State tried this knowing it didn't have back channel negotiations with the Big Ten or any semblance of a landing place if it was successful in its lawsuit against the ACC. If it was successful, you wouldn't have had nowhere to go, Florida State. You would have been out there on your own. You would have been an independent, basically. That's what you would have been. Because the Big Ten didn't want you. And certainly we all know the SEC don't want you because you ain't SEC caliber. I'm going to just tell you that. right off the bat. And you're going to find that out in the opening game of the 2025 season. Okay, just to throw that out there for you Florida State Seminole fans. But anyway, they didn't want you. That's all I'm going to say. Florida State tried this knowing, I already read that. But anyway, the Seminoles did it all knowing it signed an ironclad grant of rights agreement with the ACC not once, but twice in 2013 and 2016. Did it knowing ESPN would never ever walk away from or alter a favorable media rights deal with the ACC through 2026. So the ACC is in a deal with ESPN through 2026, and Florida State is under contract with the ACC. They signed the contract not once but twice. But I guess they thought the ACC was going to break that contract. If the ACC did that, the ACC would be losing money. And you know they ain't about losing money. This is just stupid on Florida State's side. This is just dumb. But anyway, you trying to leave with nowhere to go. You spending all this money to get out of somewhere, but you ain't got nowhere to go because nobody wants you. But anyway, Florida State did it knowing the ACC knew it held all the cards, and by all the cards, we mean all the cards, and wasn't negotiating with a rogue member. You're right, Florida State was going rogue. That's what they was doing. And the ACC wasn't going to take part in any of that. Any of it. Anyway, only after it was clear last summer that Florida State had no landing spot if it left the ACC, the school finally arrived at the thought that they want to go to the negotiating table with the ACC. Oh my goodness, man. Florida State and Clemson, they do have legitimate arguments in this fight. Without them, there is no ACC football. And that is true. That's true. Without Florida State, Clemson, Miami, I mean, what is the ACC? Nothing. For years, Clemson held the ACC up on their own. We all know this. But anyway, who in their right mind wants to watch Wake Forest and Syracuse go at it for 4 quarters on a perfectly good Saturday afternoon? Not me. Not at all. Anyway, ESPN is paying for Florida State and Clemson football in the ACC media rights deal, and to a lesser extent Miami, and as many Notre Dame games as it can get. Florida State and Clemson feel as though the rest of the ACC teams earns off their brands, and that's a legitimate argument. It is a legitimate argument. But guess what? How many teams in the SEC earn money or get money off the Alabama brand, the Georgia brand, now the Texas brand? How many teams in the SEC going to benefit from that? The Vanderbilts, the Mississippi States, now Auburn, because they down in the dumps. Okay, I ain't going to include Auburn in there because they get plenty of money. But the Vanderbilts, yeah, Auburn make plenty of revenue. But the Vanderbilts, the Mississippi States, man, come on now. The Arkansas, it's called partnership, man. It's called partnership. How many of those bottom of the barrel schools in the Big Ten is benefiting off Ohio State and Michigan? Come on, revenue sharing, partnership. That's what it's called. So you want to leave the ACC because you don't want to share. But if you go to anywhere else, you're going to have to share. The more revenue you make, the more sharing you're going to have to do. But nobody wants Florida State. I can tell you that right now. Nobody. But anyway, it is what it is, man. Like I said. But Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, among others, earn off SEC blue bloods. The Purdue, Indiana, Rutgers earns off the Big Ten blue bloods. And that's just the way it is. That's how it always been. But anyway, the ACC has agreed on revenue distribution model based on television viewership. A big get for Florida State, Clemson, Miami, North Carolina with a remarkable generosity because they bringing in most of the revenue. Anyway, the ACC, they didn't have to do nothing. They hold all the cards. They got the contract, okay? And they ain't breaking that contract, man. A contract that Florida State signed twice. Anyway, they signed it twice and learned after months and millions of dollars in legal wrangling that contract couldn't be broken. Oh, well, the only incentive the ACC had to get a deal done with its wayward schools was protecting its brand. What does wayward mean? Difficult to control, unpredictable. That's what Florida State is. That's what Florida State is. But anyway, but they gonna, protect their brand, the ACC. They're gonna do that. Meanwhile, Florida State and Clemson didn't have a landing spot, even if each paid an estimated $500,000 in financial obligations to leave the ACC. But in all of them kind of damaged the brand. All three of them. Florida State, Clemson, mostly Florida State, and the whole conference. But guess what? The conference, the ACC, they hold a contract. So they was least affected. It was just damaging in other conferences' eyes. But Florida State, you look bad. You're a laughing stock. That's what you are. That's what you are. You want to leave. You want to spend all these millions of dollars going to court. Man, and you ain't even got a landing spot to go to. You ain't talked to nobody. What, you going to get out of the ACC first and then try to go in negotiations with the Big Ten, the SEC, or even the Big 12? That's what you thought you was going to do? That's just dumb. And then if none of them could come to a conclusion or a deal to allow you to participate or join their conferences, what you was going to do, just stay independent or go back and try to pay a whole lot of money to rejoin the ACC? How dumb is that? And for y'all athletic director to come out and tell a bold-faced lie saying that Florida State as a whole said they never wanted to leave the ACC. That made everybody who deal with Florida State sports look bad. That's all I know. In Florida State, I'm going to tell you right now, the AD and whoever else listen, the players, the fans, them players already been talking shit. I hope and pray when my Alabama Crimson Tide come up there. I believe your stadium called Dope Walker. I don't know what's the name of your stadium. Really don't give a damn. I just hope when my Alabama Crimson Tide come up there, they beat the brakes off you. They beat their brakes off you. And guess what? I hope you have the same type of season you had last year. As a matter of fact, I hope it's worse. I hope it's worse. Your head coach, Mike Norvell, he ain't nothing but a fraud. He have a one-off season in 2023. And it filled up y'all head with hot air. Coming into 2024, and by the end of the 2024, you was a damn laughing stock. I'm going to tell you that right now. You go from an undefeated regular season to 2-10. And I'm going to be the first to say it. Maybe I ain't the first, but it ain't going to get no better. I don't give a damn how y'all feel about Mike Norvell. A one-off season, that's what he had. And then a couple of seasons, probably after this season, you Florida State fans going to be ready to get rid of Mike Norvell. I can guarantee you that. But anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about. Mike Norvell is a fraud. Florida State AD is an idiot. He's a liar. And Florida State is the laughing stock of all the major college football teams. That's what they are. So with that being said, y'all be blessed. And remember, KB don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide, and roll damn Tide.